tanks. I'm running currently the VK100, and it is slow as shit. It shoots slow as crap. It is a literal bathtub. So bad at using it. Jeez.
Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh god, he's got a Maz.
The channel. We're going to take a look at a bit of a controversial subject. A subject that is often discussed on Discords, that is often discussed on forums in the game. Why do I lose? Why is my team so bad? Well, there's 5 reasons. These are the top 5 reasons you kind of keep losing in the game. And one of them is actually demonstrated here by Vinny Ice. You can see that he has managed to block 1500 damage already within 1 minute into the game. And there goes another shot above 2k, 2750 blocked, and you ain't seen nothing yet. And then you might start thinking, well, this is looking to be a great game. This is looking to be awesome. He's got 3,600, 800 damage, 4,350 damage already. He's calling for help. His team is flanking. They've got the Reds cornered in the top left corner of the map, and they are already resorting to shooting HE. 1,200 blocks from that the T-57 Heavy in the back. He should just stay here. He should hold the line, hold the flag. The Waffle is a bit annoyed at getting killed, and the reason you lose is not that you are holding the flag. There's another block shot that is a heat shell from a Grill Mini or a Waffle. That is some more block. He's HE coming in from the T-57 Heavy. Look at that, 6,580 blocks already. But his team, and you already probably guess it, they are not really taking advantage of Vinny here holding the line. Vinny is trying to push. He's going forward to engage this T-57 Heavy, and he's going to shoot once, and then gets another shot, and he's a track, and he wants to side break, but the T-57 Heavy just decides to roll around because he's got the mobility. It's a heavy tank, but yeah, he's got the mobility to go around the mouse, but he shoots a little bit more, goes for a little bit of damage, 1,300 shots are done, and here come the red team. The projector is rolling in, the M103 is rolling in, and the T-57 Heavy is going to do a ring around the rosy. Are you counting? 1 versus 3. That means that his team is actually 1 versus 4. His team should have a far more numerical superiority advantage on the other flank. But they do not take advantage of it. 7.8k blocked. You hold the flank, your team does not take advantage of that. But what also happens is this stuff. Number 4. Your team gets the victory. Or at least they try to do so. We're looking at Funny Pro Room, and you can see that...
Top 5 tanks that just won't die in World of Blitz. The tank blitz. Swallow Direct Club can actually ruin your teeth, by the way, just saying. Is he driving a KV4? Because if he's saying a KV4 cannot die, he's absolutely correct. Those tanks do not die. Like, cry all about it. Like, you can just cry and cry all you want. Those tanks don't die. I've had trouble fighting them. They deal damage. It's like they have a little bit of recon.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, tankers of Bitchinabest to the channel. First of all, I would like to apologize, and that might sound strange at the beginning of the video, but if you sit this one through, you're going to have an epic show. It's going to look very good, but it takes some time. And I've cut out all of the uninteresting bits of the beginning of a video, but this is... A black screen is fitting because today we're gonna talk about the
top 5 worst tanks. I want to say my opinion. One of them, it might be controversial. Honestly, I might say the VK101. I think at first it was stupid hard, but now it's, in my opinion, out of 10, I want to make it like a 4 out of 10. I would say would fit it. I bet you there's people out there that can take a VK100 tank on Blitz and completely level matches. And guess what? There are. But in my opinion, I just can't do that tank. It's not my thing. It is not my tank. I'm very bad at using, very bad at using that tank. And yeah.
Heck of a lot of vehicles available in the world of tanks Blitz. In fact, over 500 tanks, which is an insane amount. So, obviously, when there are so many vehicles in the game, some talking about in today's video, my opinion on the top 5 worst vehicles available in World of Tanks Blitz. So let's get straight into it. I really hate to put this vehicle in the number 5 position in today's video, especially because some of you out there may have really enjoyed playing this tank at one time in Blitz, but unfortunately after update 8.2, the FV25B is just never the same vehicle. This tier 10 British Tech 3 heavy tank has always been known for the gun, and before update 8.2, it had an incredible gun. It traded armor, hit points, and even mobility, all so it could have a very strong turret, plus a 3,000 damage per minute gun. But not only did it have the DPM to boast, but it also has some of the best accuracy in tier 10. With .303 dispersion, fantastic aiming time, it really had everything you'd want. Really good pen...
Good evening, ma'am. Doing 52 in the 25 zone. Have you been drinking?
No, if you're smelling something... penetration, Hesh, obviously, because it is a British tier 10, although weirdly enough the Badger doesn't get Hesh. But yeah, it's just so sad to see a vehicle that was all about the gun get the gun nerfed on it. I don't even know why Wargaming thought that was a good idea. So the DPM on update 8.2 went from around 3,000 to 2,700, which now means that the vehicle doesn't have the highest DPM for what it is. It also has really bad mobility, only going about 35 kilometers per hour. It's a massive tank, yet it has actually no armor. The sides are incredibly weak at only about 100 millimeters thick. The lower plate is massive and an easy target. It's got super weak track wheels. You can't even side scrape in it, and it's a rear turreted tank. It's like trying to side scrape in a VK72, but worse. It's such a lame vehicle. It's got the lowest hit point pool in tier 10 for a heavy. You have to run sandbag armor on it, which means that you're even sacrificing more of something else like crew mastery. I really just get depressed and disappointed when I think of what Wargaming turned the FV2 and 5B into, and I guarantee that there are a lot of you guys out there that used to absolutely adore the tank. Nowadays, it's just kind of a sad, former version of itself. Why drive the 2 and 5B when I can drive a Super Conqueror, which has more gun depression, a front turret design with better hull armor and better side armor. It's also got pretty similar DPM if you're running it fully equipped. Same for the Chieftain Mark 6, and really the same for any other hull down heavy. So yeah, sorry 2 and 5B, but you're sliding right up into the top 5 position. Moving into the top 4 position, we, funny enough, have another tier 10 British vehicle, and it's also based off the exact same hull, the FV2 and 5B 183. Why does this vehicle fit into the top 4 position? Well, it's because there's no real reason why you drive a 183 apart from ruining somebody's day. The 183 is not a tank that was designed to win. Most vehicles in Blitz, even the 2 and 5B, have the goal behind them to win battles. But the 183, you 100% know every time you're pulling it out that you are most likely being a detriment to your team. You're going to miss your shots, you're going to most likely not pen, and you're going to die. And when you die, you're not going to be any help to anybody apart from your own selfish needs. And I don't blame people for running the vehicle. It's fun. I mean, I love running it myself. Being able to deal 1,300 damage on average to somebody that pulls around a corner unsuspectingly, ruining their day, it's kind of fun.
Dude,
but
that would
the sad
suck.
truth is, when you play a 183, you objectively know that you are causing your team to have a lesser chance of winning if the enemy team does not have a 183 match on their aside, it is strictly a tank meant for the lulz, not for wins in any way, shape, or form. And because it solely relies on RNG, it is just one of those vehicles I have to be sliding into my top 4 slot because it's not a tank meant for winning, therefore it is one of the worst tanks to actually play and try to win Blitz. Weirdly enough, keeping it with the rear-turreted vehicles, in number 3 we have the IS-2, a Tier 8 Russian premium heavy tank. Most of the 122mm Russian heavies in Tier 8 boast really bad gun handling, but in return they have really good armor, really solid turrets, and usually okay mobility. They're kind of the jack of all trades, plus they got pretty beefy alpha. When it comes to the IS-2, it has that definitely terrible accuracy, but it has no turret armor, and as well no hull armor. It has 110mm of lower plate armor. Its sides have no spaced armor whatsoever. And
Man,
it's
it's literally just a tiny
the turret that has cheeks that are about 120 thick, or you can just shoot right through the angle bits on the side that are also incredibly weak. The IS-2 is a vehicle that makes you question, why would you buy it? It has a lot of potential. I think that if Wargaming did actually pay a bit of attention to it, they could buff it. But I was thinking, last time I made a tier list talking about the worst tanks in Blitz, the WZ-111 was the tier 8 heavy I chose. And I started to think about it, why would I choose a 111 to be the worst when the IS-2 exists? It's worse in almost every way apart from having 7 degrees of gun depression, but that one savior is not going to score enough points to get out of today's listing. Gimmick or not, the IS-2 is quite a useless heavy tank. I swear I don't hate rear-turreted vehicles, but once again we have another rear-turreted tank making the list in the number 2 position, being the Vulcan. This tier 7 unidentified nation heavy tank really has nothing you would ever want going for a heavy tank. So it's a super heavy, it's got a lot of armor. I mean, it's the size of a double-decker garbage truck, and yes, it threw it. And the Vulcan's armor is about 150 to 170 at thickest, and that means any tier 8 you come in, everybody's penetrating you. You're just a giant hit point pinata. It's kind of sad to watch these things bubble around the battlefield trying to act like gun. It's actually a pretty nice gun, apart from the fact that it has no accuracy whatsoever, and its penetration was left back at the garage because don't want to be unique. You're like that special ed kid that got left behind in first grade. And then we get into the number 1 position. This should come to no surprise to a lot of you, but it's gonna be the Vindicator. Why is this vehicle so useless? Well,
I'm surprised.
Every darn reason that I can come up with. First of all, it has the worst gun depression in the entire game. It has 2 degrees. It's almost the same amount of gun depression you have as looking over the rear of your FV4202. It's pretty incredible how bad it is. That means if you're on a slight incline, even at the slightest, you cannot hit enemy armor whatsoever. And then when we move further onto the gun, it also has the worst HE alpha for a 150mm, a true 150mm. That deals 640 on the standard. It only has like 910 on the HE, which if you compare it to the SU-152, that has 960, it makes no sense. The vehicle also only shoots heat and high explosive. That means that you have absolutely atrocious shell velocity. You can't cut through any spaced armor whatsoever, and if opponents are behind any sort of destructible object like a fence, even a little lamppost, and you end up hitting that lamppost in front of the opponent, guess what? You can't penetrate them. And then finally, we come over to the armor. Now, the Vindicator's armor has always been troll. However, Wargaming changed how armor highlighting works not too long ago, and basically that stuck the middle finger right up to the Vindicator because now armor highlighting shows where you penetrate the front of it. So anybody that was either new to the game or didn't understand how to penetrate this beast, well, now you do know how to penetrate it. The side armor is absolutely atrocious. You can even penetrate it with a lot of tier 7s and tier 8s, and the vehicle is a giant box, which means its camo is terrible. There is not a single reason why any person would want to drive a Vindicator apart for the means.
Dude, I had...
Take you will win it, and if you compare it to the SU-152, it is worse in literally every single aspect. But that's just my ranking of all the top 5 tanks in World of Tanks Blitz. Obviously, if you want it, bye-bye.
I believe balance of nature works because I've seen it work. There has been a change in my workouts, so I recommend it for everybody. I don't care what your age is, because sooner or later you're going to get older. And you want to keep going, take balance of nature, because that's what I'm going to do. I'll take it forever.
Sylvania LED Power Sport headlights. Seeing is believing.
The butthole where Opie forces her daughter to sleep like a homeless person.
God.
Am I the butthole for refusing to meet my sister on Christmas after she called Child Protective Services? I'm a 37-year-old male, and I lost my wife of 10 years, and it was devastating for me and my daughter. It's unfortunate, but life goes on no matter what happens. My family knows how much I struggle as a single dad, and my sister doesn't really get it. She had issues with my late wife in the past, but now she started helping with my daughter. She redecorated my daughter's room without my consent. She'd insist I let my daughter go spend days at her house, but my daughter is comfortable at her home. She then started calling my daughter by another name, and I'm still trying to understand her logic behind this. I told her to stop doing those things and be respectful and supportive, and she defended herself by saying that I'm lashing out due to grief. I recently started teaching my daughter to do stuff on her own, like brush her hair, clean her room, wash her cups, and make sandwiches while I take care of bigger stuff. My sister said that what I'm doing is wrong, that I'm giving her more than she can handle. She's just a
Dude,
kid, and
she's gonna grow up one day.
my daughter to be more independent. She said that I'm clearly doing this for my own benefits and avoiding responsibility. I got into a fight with her about this. I told her she has zero say in this. And the next day, a CPS officer came to my house and took a tour around my house. My first thought was, maybe he got the wrong house, until he started reading the report to me, saying that I'm never home and that I make my daughter do things that aren't her responsibility, neglecting her education. By the way, she's homeschooled. And that I'm not taking care of basic hygiene and whatnot. I told my daughter my story, and I explained that I'm adapting as a single parent, and proceeded to ask my daughter some questions. It was clearly a false report. However, I was told that I'll have a permanent record with CPS, and I was shaken up by this. I told
That
my
sucks,
family about
man.
it, and my other sister told me that my sister was the one who called CPS after we
I'm
had
gonna run
that
out of titanium.
argument. I was so mad that I confronted her. I called her immature and stupid to pull this stunt. She's in her 40s, and then she's no longer my sister. Then I cut contact. It's been months, and now my dad started bringing her up knowing how uncomfortable I was. He said that my sister feels sorry for what she did and wanted to talk things out on Christmas dinner.
Oh,
But I
bullcrap.
said no. He and the others insisted, saying that I should be the bigger person.
No.
Family will be incomplete without me and my daughter.
No, honestly, in my opinion, like, oh my god, guys, man, I hate my parents. I'm forced to get a job, and I'm forced to make my own money, and I'm forced to clean my own room and make my own bed. Ugh, man, so abusive, man. Wow, they're making me do stuff I need to do later in my life when I grow up. Man, my parents are abusive. Wow, just kidding.
They said that I refused to be a civil adult to solve the issue that's dividing the family. I yelled and said that my daughter and I don't have to go to dinner after what she did. It doesn't matter if she has issues on her own and didn't mean it and was just concerned. WTF was she so concerned about? They demanded that I at least let my daughter go be with them and her auntie on Christmas.
Whoops.
Look, alright, sometimes family members fight with each other, but calling CPS on a single father? Them's fighting words. OP, your sister completely crossed the line, and I don't know you at all for reacting the way you did. It's completely unfair of your family
4 out of
to
5
put
assholes
pressure
for
on
this.
you to be the good guy. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. Your sister gets 3 out of 5 buttholes, and your other family members get 2 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for making my daughter sleep in a tent? I'm a 34-year-old woman, and I'm a single mother of 2 girls, Jasmine, who's 16, and Jessica, who's 14. Their dad died when I was pregnant with Jess, and I had to work hard. We hit rock bottom, and I was barely making it paycheck to paycheck, but I managed to get a degree, become successful, and we live well. The point is, I know how effing hard it is to be at the bottom of society, and my daughters know this, which is why I was livid at my daughter's actions.
Yesterday, Jasmine showed me a video of Jessica cussing a homeless man out and telling him, "Stop asking me for money. You'd earn it yourself if you weren't so effing lazy and spending what you earned on substances." When the homeless man complained about the cold, we live in Northeast England, Jessica responded, "Yeah, people camp for fun, even in December. You can't complain. You're living someone's holiday." Fury was an understatement for what I felt, as I thought that I'd raise an empathetic daughter. Along with finding the homeless man and making her apologize and help pay for a hotel room for the night for him, she paid him £20, as well as signing her up to volunteer at a food bank. I decided to take her up on her offer of sleeping outside. I locked her bedroom door so she couldn't go in, put a sign on it that said closed for the holidays, pitched a tent in the garden, and filled it with blankets in the sleeping bag I used when I was camping in Norway on a family holiday as a teen.
A little bit too far, but she had it coming.
That night, so I was nearby if anything went wrong.
It actually might be an everybody sucks situation here.
Over the option of not having access to her phone until the Christmas holidays were over. In the morning, she was crying about how horrible it was to wake up on a cold mat and get disrupted sleep due to birds. After comforting her, I asked her if she would like to do that every day like the homeless man. It struck a chord with her, and she was crying over her actions. Meanwhile, when she gave the guy the £20, she was rolling her eyes and her apology wasn't sincere. This afternoon, I came home from work to find Jessica making a big meal to donate to the homeless people who live on the road near my house. I was proud of how she turned over a new leaf, and after taking the food to the people, my sister came over. Apparently, my nephew and Jessica were talking at school, and he asked her about her plans for the afternoon, and she said that she was going to cook for the homeless. My nephew asked what triggered that, and Jess told him everything, which he relayed to his mom. My sister said that the punishment was too harsh, and just the £20 in the food bank would have done the trick, and I was acting irrationally due to my past. Now I'm second-guessing myself. Am I the butthole? Nah, OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. You were just showing your daughter some tough love. I mean, yeah, it was pretty tough, but emphasis on the word love. Clearly the lesson worked, and your daughter's becoming a better person because of it. Am I the butthole for celebrating my anniversary despite what happened at my wedding?
The winter sun. It's a ticking clock. We're shorter days.
My husband and I had our wedding last year. The venue was beautiful and bordered a lake. Unfortunately, during the reception, one of the young children snuck away from their parents and decided to go for a swim, despite not knowing how to swim. This was tragic and devastating, and obviously I haven't really spoken to the parents since then, as we weren't close to them aside from seeing them on holidays, which haven't happened this year. We're still Facebook friends though. When our first anniversary came, I made a post celebrating our anniversary with a few wedding posts. I didn't think anything of it until the comments came flooding in. I woke up to 30 comments and 15 missed calls. The top comment was from the mother of the child, who was outraged about it. She wrote a very long comment about how my post was disrespectful of the tragedy that happened that day, and how dare I post that and not mention her child. And, of course, talking to her first. 30 comments later, and it was clear that the entire family had clearly started to take sides in this battle that I didn't realize that I created. As of today, we're at 150 comments. My friends and my parents are involved too. Half of the family is screaming for me to take it down, apologize to the parents, and show more respect. Possibly by even selling. Some of the family think that we should still be able to celebrate our anniversary on the actual day, but just keep it offline to keep the peace. I don't think I did anything wrong with that post, and I feel like we should be able to celebrate our anniversary just like anyone else.
Advanced wiring kit, Ruby.
I'm celebrating my wedding. Am I the butthole? And then Opie posted an edit. I changed the post to only be visible to me and deleted all the comments to try to stop the arguing. But from the email that we just received, those comments were just a symptom of a larger problem. My mother-in-law sent us an email with, from what I can tell, roughly 3/4 of my husband's family CC'd on it. His parents,
Carbon copied.
and the parents of the child not only think that we
Which
should
means
pick a
that
different day to celebrate our wedding, but they're also demanding a second wedding. According to them,
Oh my god. Man, Thanksgiving is over. Oh. Oh my god. Yes. Yes. $800. That smells like I smell progress. Got 800 in my vault.
For so long due to shock and being distracted by everything else going on this year. But they feel that because of what happened, we aren't really married yet in the family. They understand that weddings are expensive, so my husband's parents offered to completely pay for the second wedding that will be the real wedding in the family's eyes. And because it may be a year or two before this can be done safely, they will tolerate us living in sin indefinitely due to the circumstances. My husband hates arguing with his family, and I'm not sure how I would even approach this with my family without being laughed out of the room. So, we need to talk about what to do with this. Down in the comments, I'm going to read this post from Superfast Mama, which I pretty much agree with. Everyone sucks here, but for crying out loud, take the post down. On the one hand is a family with a dead child facing the 1-year anniversary of their loss. It's unimaginable pain. On the other hand is your need to have people comment on how pretty your wedding was and tell you happy anniversary. Their pain far outweighs your need for likes. Why you didn't block the family of the dead child from your post is beyond my ability to comprehend. As soon as you saw it was causing pain, you delete the post. Of course you can celebrate your anniversary all you want, just not visible to these people who have a dead child. Show some compassion.
Grow your business or keep your people healthy. With Evernorth Health Services, you can do both. We make care connected, compatible, and convenient for lower costs and better outcomes. Because when your people stay their healthiest, your business can be its best.
Also, what's the deal with your in-laws? They basically decided on their own that your wedding doesn't count and you're living in sin because they just don't like the way that you're married? What a bunch of jerks. I think I would say that just about the only people here who aren't the butthole is the parent of the dead kid. Am I the butthole for deciding that I won't give any Christmas gifts this year after my mom canceled a transaction on my card? I'm a student. I have a student bank account where my college gives me money for
Titanium diamond.
transportation or scholarship. These kinds of bank accounts have no fees but are age restricted.
Oh,
You can't have one if
a
you're
student. Yeah, he's right. I have a student checking account, and I do not pay any. What's it called? I don't pay any maintenance fee on it
5 years old. So
until I get an
numbers
extra
here.
card.
When I asked the bank about it, they told me it's just a security thing, so I chose my mom because she's more tech savvy than my dad. Well, through some incredible luck, I managed to get top grades last year, so I was awarded a study scholarship. Great! I've been saving up my money, looking forward to Black Friday, eyeing an amazing, so freaking happy, and I ordered it. Then I got a notice that the bank refused the card. I emailed Amazon and we went over the card details and such, making sure it was right. It was. They advised me to call my... But it was too late in the day to call and they don't work on weekends, so I left an email. I found out today that for big transactions, they asked for an agreement from the overseer and that my overseer canceled the transaction. I was like WTFing in front of my mom about it, who throughout the weekend acted oblivious. And she told me that, of course, I couldn't let you throw away money on something that you don't need. And she also said, you wouldn't have money for Christmas presents if you bought that. Then she had the audacity to ask me what I was planning to get my family this year. I told her they won't get anything more than a chaperone.
Okay, that's a douchebag. What are you planning to get? Okay, you want to know what a really douchey thing to do for Christmas? Is ask, what are you getting me this year? To me, if someone says, what do you get me this year? That translates to, you have to give me something. Choose, you douchebag.
From me, and I went to my
That's what I get when if I ever like heard that.
on the Black Friday deal. I can't afford that tablet anymore, and it's all because my mom wanted Christmas.
Dude, I'd be so pissed,
I'm
man.
not gonna get her anything. Last year, she got me a blouse that was too small for me, and that she later took for herself. She can gift herself this year too. Not the butthole OP.
No.
Mom sounds like a good...
Dude, honestly, what's it called? I have a med kit, and I want to. So we're like me and my parents, or me and my mom actually. We're at this kind of stage of my life where I get my own Christmas presents. They're not really a big surprise anymore, and that she gives me some surprises, but I like to get some. So I have a med kit, and it costs $150, but it costs 130. So reasonably, luckily this isn't a bad story, but I said, "Hey mom, can I please have this med kit? It costs $130, and or $120, and I would save $30." So we got it because I am in a little bit of a somewhat I have to pay my car off, and I'm only gonna be able to use so much money, so I have to save it. So I did save it.
Rolling douchebag. If I were you, I would remove your mom from your bank account immediately.
Honestly, yeah.
Am I the butthole for selling my family home because my pregnant sister-in-law ate my dinner? Before I start this story, I want to point out that me and my brother have two different fathers. I'm a 19-year-old girl, and I lost my father last year due to cancer. He left me 90% of his stuff, including his family home that was left to him by his dad. It's been in their family for over 100 years. My older brother, who's 34, and my dad didn't have a relationship, but he did leave him $10,000. My mom was pissed at the will reading, but since she got $10,000, she couldn't do anything about it. For the past year, me and my mom have lived okay together. My mom went on acting like my house was hers, which I had no problem with, until in May my brother and his 30-year-old girlfriend moved in, without even asking me. They're messy, entitled, and rude, and I told them in July I want them out by September because they don't pay for anything or wash a dish.
Honestly?
In August, they announced that they were pregnant, and my sister-in-law smugly said, "Guess we won't be moving out now." That didn't go down
Dude,
well.
that would make me livid.
Them out, my mom and brother basically laughed in my face. Well, the past few months have been hell. They...
This is the biggest day of my life. Let's get lit.
Follow me.
Dude, if you're gonna live in a house if someone goes to live in my house with me, they're either they're gonna pay me money, they're gonna pay, what's it called? If you live in my house regularly, you're going to pay half my electric bill, you are going to do some chores, and pay your rent, or pay half rent, and if you don't do that, you either get the hell out, or you do physical labor.
They've basically become worse than before, and my mom enables it, then demands me to treat my sister-in-law like a princess because she's pregnant. I once had to wait outside McDonald's till they opened to get her a McMuffin. Well, this is where I might be the butthole. Because my sister-in-law is pregnant, she eats everything she sees, like the cupcakes my friend made me for my birthday. She ate all 6, and I didn't even get to try them. I can't even make my lunch the night before, because when I go to get it, it'll be gone. And she'll have a smug look on her face while rubbing her belly, then laugh and say, "I couldn't help myself, blame the baby." If I put stuff in my room, my mom will withdraw the spare key so sister-in-law can go through my mini fridge.
Wow.
Well, a week ago, I was running late to college and I didn't have time for my breakfast or to make lunch. And I had to go to work straight after, so all I had that day was a bar of chocolate. When I got home, I was starving. I made myself dinner, and while it was cooling down, I went to use the bathroom. I must have been in there 10 minutes at most, and by the time I came out, my sister-in-law had eaten 70% of my dinner.
Dude, I would be so freaking livid.
Of course, my sister-in-law started crying. So my mom and brother started screaming at me for making her cry, making excuses like how she couldn't help it, and it was my fault for...
No, you can help not
Well, I had enough.
wharfing down a bunch of shit.
Back in October, my uncle offered me a life-changing amount of money for the house. So I called him up crying a few days ago explaining the situation, and he said that he'd buy the house and would evict my mom and brother. They, of course, didn't take it too well and had to stay with a friend. I've been receiving texts and I'm being tagged in multiple posts on social media. I'm starting to think that I'm the bad person now. So, am I the butthole for making my mom and sister homeless?
Nah, frick them.
What on earth is wrong with your brother and your mother? They're not treating you like family, so why should you treat them like family? Your family sounds super toxic, and I wouldn't trust a word that comes out of their mouth. I have to wonder if there's an r/raised by narcissist situation going on here, because your mom is obviously toxic, and it seems like she might be treating your brother like the golden child. So, while I would definitely recommend kicking them out of your house, I don't know if selling your home is really the right decision right now. Selling something that your father gave you that's worth presumably over $100,000 is really risky when emotions are high. I mean, you'll be homeless too, and you might regret letting go of something that your father gave you. So, evict your family? Yes. Sell the house? Probably no. Are you the butthole? Definitely not. That was r/Am I the Butthole. And if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because
My AR places with ghost pepper extract. Whew. Ghost peppers are mean mother effers. Those are some mean bitch peppers. 1 million Scoville, if I'm not wrong. Not the meanest, but they're awful.
r/Am I the Butthole, where we get to judge strangers on the internet. I was sitting at a table in a coffee shop yesterday when this guy comes into the shop carrying a guitar and orders a drink. He then happens to choose the space right next to my table to stand and play his guitar while waiting for his order. I find people who force their music on others very annoying. This guy and his guitar are no different from someone playing music from a Bluetooth speaker in a public area in my mind. But I was lucky in this case. I didn't have to stick around. Without speaking to the guy or even making eye contact, I stood up and moved to the complete opposite side of the shop to a new table by the exit. Well, the guy must have noticed my displeasure because he stopped playing after I moved. A few moments later, he got his drink and moved towards the exit to leave. He opens the door to leave, pauses, then turns to me and says, "You could have just asked me to stop playing. Treat me like a human being." And then continued out the door before I could respond. So this guy is acting like I'm the butthole for not verbally engaging with a stranger who annoyed me. I feel like simply removing myself from
That's the best way to go about it.
Usually the right play and leads to less conflict. Am I the butthole?
No.
See, unfortunately, OP, you didn't give the guitarist a chance to start singing, because then he might have said something like, "I'm an entitled butthole, and I have a stick up my butt, and I think I'm so awesome," or whatever, because honestly, that guy sounds like a turd. You get a 0 out of 5 buttholes. That guy gets 2 out of 5 buttholes. I mean, it wasn't anything extreme. To be honest, you were polite, you avoided conflict. I think you handled that situation pretty much the best you possibly could. That guy is so pompous he thought no one would be bothered by his music. And he's so self-absorbed that he assumed, correctly in this case, that he was the reason why you moved. You couldn't move for any reason. You said it's by the exit, maybe there's more light by the exit. Maybe you were waiting for a friend. Maybe you wanted the cool breeze from the open door. Who knows? But like a true narcissist, he assumed that he's the cause of everything. Or pretending to be an appletarian, meaning somebody who only eats food products that are derived from apples and would only drink apple juice or apple cider. I told them all that I'd read on the internet that eating only apples was the healthiest thing for you. When I first told them, they thought I was joking. But they underestimated how committed I would be to a joke. So, whenever in the presence of one of my friends, or friends, coworkers, etc. who knew them, I was very careful to only be seen eating apples or drinking apple juice or cider. Apples whole, apples diced, apple sauce, the inside of an apple pie, baked apples, candy apple with the chocolate shaved off, etc. Finally, after about a week, they thought that I had become an appletarian. They started giving me information about how unhealthy it was to only eat apples, growing increasingly exasperated by it. Some of them even got angry. But I wanted to stick with the joke. Finally, after the end of 3 weeks, I walked into what I was told was a movie night, but was actually an intervention for me. They were all super concerned about my well-being and had all sorts of information or whatever. Finally, I started laughing hysterically. They were confused as heck, so I told them I had been faking it the whole time and had been eating real meals outside of their knowledge. I even took out some beef jerky from my pant pocket to prove it and munched it. I thought they'd appreciate the joke, but they were actually really annoyed. My girlfriend even broke up with me over this because a few years ago, I had ruined our date night when I told the waiter I only wanted apples because I was an appletarian and had embarrassed her for a dumb joke. In my opinion, the joke was solid, and they should appreciate my commitment to the
It was. That is amazing.
Did I go too far? OP, I'm gonna give you 2 out of 5 buttholes. It's it's really funny what you did, but you may have taken it a little too far. I can understand why your friends would be legitimately worried about you. There are so many fruitcakes out there who believe things like you shouldn't vaccinate your kids, and you could survive by eating sunlight. So it's reasonable for them to assume that you were actually harming yourself over your appletarian drink. Our next Reddit post is from Space Husband. Well, here it goes. One of my roommates has a history of using my stuff without asking. We're all in college and old enough to know not to get into other people's things. I noticed my toothpaste was going down really fast, so I confronted my roommate about it, and he was like, "Sorry, bro, won't do it again." Thing is, I've heard that line many times before. I told him I'm going to spike my toothpaste one of these days. Well, I made good on my promise. After I noticed
You told
my
him?
toothpaste
Well, guess
was
what?
going to go down, I got some very concentrated ghost pepper extract and put a
Shit.
decent amount near the top of my toothpaste. Well, last night, I was walking down the hall and I see my roommate bursting out of the bathroom heading towards the kitchen.
Oh,
I followed him
shit.
down there and saw him downing his gallon of milk straight out of the container. I started laughing and said that now he should buy his own toothpaste. He looked at me and said, "What the F, dick?" He told the other roommates, and a couple thought it was hilarious what I did. The other just said I was a butthole. What's the verdict here? Honestly, OP, you could have posted this on r/ProRevenge. This guy had it coming. 0 out of 5 buttholes for you, 3 out of 5 buttholes for him. Our next...
This winter, make the shortest days the fullest. Get $1,000 purchase allowance on a 2023 Cadillac XT5 and XT6.
Our next Reddit post is from Hot Cheetos 32. So, my husband and I were stuck in an airport for 15 hours yesterday due to multiple flights to our destination being delayed and canceled. So, we hung out at a lot of different charging stations. This lady had her phone on top of someone else's phone in her group on the charging station. Apparently, she had set some alarm thing on her phone to go off if someone moves it because she left it unattended on the charging station. When we got to the charging station at our terminal, the alarm was going off already, and apparently the lady had walked away to do something, and someone else in her group was holding it, and the alarm was just constantly going off, and sounded like a car alarm. Me and my husband were trying to figure out what was making this noise. So when she comes back from the bathroom, she's yelling at her husband, "WTF? Why is my phone going off? Who touched it?" So she looks over at me and my husband with the nastiest face,
Oh, my God.
assuming we messed with her phone, which we didn't. I don't care to mess with other people's stuff. She was just yelling and going on and on about someone touching her phone very loudly and angrily for a good solid 10 minutes, constantly.
I used to take 2 titanium to make
Her husband,
but
someone
2
bumped it while
or about 4 of those.
station. And she just gets even madder, still yelling about people trying to take her stuff, which nobody did. So she comes to the station, moves other people's stuff around to get her phone.
Oh, so she touches other people's stuff, so it's fine for her to touch other people's stuff, huh?
So if it moves, it goes off very loudly. When it's time to start boarding, she's waiting at the desk, even though she was in the last boarding group. She was in such a hurry to try to cut every other boarding group.
4,
I guess
5,
she forgot about
6,
her heavily
7,
secured
8.
phone on the charging station. Her husband tells her this isn't our group, you can't board, and she just shrugs her shoulders and stays in line. My husband and I are still by the charging station because our boarding group was next to last. I unplug my phone and notice hers is still plugged in. She's near the front of the line at this point. So I'm not touching that thing to make it go off very loudly again and have her accuse me of stealing her stuff yet again, just to take it to her and her line-cutting husband. She was complaining very loudly about God knows what to the people at the boarding gate, so I just decided to leave it, thinking maybe she'd remember, but I honestly don't know if she ever did. Does this make me a butthole? 0 out of 5 buttholes. To be honest, what I think I would have done is once you're in the air, I would have I would have found that lady and been like, don't worry, I didn't touch your phone. When I boarded the flight, it was still plugged into the wall. Our next Reddit post is from Stupid Test. My wife is pregnant with our daughter. Initially, we were really happy and excited about it. But then, she starts acting like a nut job. She gets angry and irritated for small things, insults me when she doesn't like the food I make, starts acting insecure, and accuses me of losing attraction for her. For example, she wanted to eat chicken sandwiches for dinner last week. Well, I made chicken sandwiches. So she eats all the sandwiches, leaves me nothing, and told me they tasted like garbage. I wasn't pissed because she left me nothing, but if she didn't like them, why did she have to eat everything? When I asked her this, she told me that she was hungry. Okay, fine. She does this every time. Eats everything I make and calls it garbage. I don't argue with her because I work for more than 80 hours a week and I really want to have some peace when I'm home. So, yesterday, a random girl starts flirting with me after the gym and asked me if I wanted to meet up with her for some drinks. I rejected her and told her that I was married. And when I got home, my wife started to hug me and apologize. When I asked her what happened, she told me that her best friend suggested a test for my loyalty. So they asked a mutual friend to flirt with me and asked me out. And I passed. Yay! I'm really pissed. I'm done with her antics. Will I be the butthole if I ask her to move out? I don't know, it's kind of a sticky situation. I mean, we're supposed to give pregnant ladies a little bit of leeway, but constantly criticizing you and treating you like garbage? That doesn't sound like a pregnant lady. That sounds like a butthole. And if you ask me, that loyalty test is way too far. Asking her to move out might be a little over the top, but yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from. I'll give you at most 2 out of 5 buttholes. Because based on your story, it doesn't really seem like you've tried to work this out or come to some sort of solution. You just went from silently upset to kicking her out, which is a little extreme. Your wife, however, gets 4 out of 5 buttholes. Pregnant or not, she's acting like a
You make the holidays happen, and that requires energy. May we interest you in the portable...
He came out to me when he was 14 years old, and I've always been supportive of him and his identity.
Frick you!
I've been with my fiancée for about 2 years, and while she does come from a very deep religious and conservative family, she has never had any issue with my son. At least, nothing she has ever
they're not done yet.
me. My son has been dating his boyfriend since he was around 18, and I've gotten to know him really well. However, my fiancée told me recently that she doesn't want my son's boyfriend to come to the wedding, nor does she want her parents to even get the inclination that my son is gay. That if they found out, they would have a complete fit. This really bothers me because I refuse to ask my son to go back in the closet. What's going to happen in the future when my son gets married himself? Will they want him and his husband barred from other family events? He's my son and will be the best man, and it would only be unfair to deny him a +1 because her family has an issue with gay people. When I told her this, she got very angry with me and told me that I was being selfish and overdramatic.
I'll take it.
That it would just be for this one day, that she wants
100%.
the perfect wedding.
2.
I told her that
I know this is, I'm about to commit a sin right here.
to ask my son not to bring his boyfriend. It's my wedding too, and I want his boyfriend.
This is a very big sin I'm committing.
That, I got the silent treatment for it.
It depends on what question it is. But look, yeah, I'm committing a sin right now. It's gonna suck the energy out of this thing. Well, it's gonna suck 1,000. Oh, there's a 10A. Oh, there we go. Hello? Stop fighting, thank you. What do you want to ask me? I don't know. I don't like to assume. I really don't like to assume. Birchery. You got the bircheries. No. You know, why is this window even here? There's nothing good to view from that window.
And since then, it hasn't been discussed again. However, it is...
By she, let me guess, she, them? Them, or whatever? So are you non-binary? Oh no, please don't. Okay, thank God. I have 47 reinforcement. And there's nickel down here. Oh, that's cool. That's nice. That's nice to know of you. I don't get why do people shame people from that community, man? They don't hurt no one. They don't do anything bad. They're nice. Why do people hate others that are gay? Actually, frick, have them. You wanna know why? Because those kids that are needing adopted, a lot of people when they have someone of the other like gender married, or that like this they're same, same sex couples. Honestly, they're awesome because they can adopt people that don't get adopted. Yeah, there's no reason for me to not accept anybody. It's a waste of energy, and it's just a douchebag move to not, honestly. Honestly, do your own thing. I honestly don't care. I accept anyway, as long as they don't go out of their way to harm those innocent, and they're not like a D-bag. I'm fine with them, honestly. I got a non-binary friend at school, a lot. Okay. Not gonna pick that up. Make a window there. Kind of almost done with this base. I agree. And honestly, people from the Pride community are also like the most generous and most kind. I've never found someone that was like awful. Like there's just no, like there are people that are awful from that community. There's people that are awful from every community. But I haven't seen someone that was. Oh yes, I love this trick. Watch this. I'm gonna show you secret. Okay? You build a scanner room. You go into this base. Then you're gonna go here. You're gonna go to your camera. And if you dispatch your camera, you can do something. It's not possible unless you have hacks. What cameras are we equipped with? Camera 8 and camera 9. Okay. Dun 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 dun. This is an iBot. It goes around and it surveys. Oh crap. I look like prey to these fish, so I have to be careful not to go near them because they'll try to damage this camera drone. How long have you identified as that? Oh, thanks. Honestly, no one really does have, like, a crush on me. I mean, it's not wrong. Just don't be creepy, okay? I mean, yeah. Hey, loser. Hey, idiot. And, like, I'll be out collecting resources and they'll just attack you out of nowhere. Honestly, yeah, that coming. Hurt my drone a little bit, so I'm gonna have to fix it. So you safely dock it. Fix it. You have it fixed. Eh, foreign, I want to say. No one ever has a crush on me. Viewed as that weird person. I mean, I am the quirky one. Acid mushrooms. That's maybe not the best name to call a mushroom.
Captain, all systems online.
I really want to depart from my ship. However, this blood kelp and this is not grown yet. I want to mature everything on these growing platforms before I depart. Cancer. I was born on June 30th. I have a cancer. No, not like actual cancer. But like, you know, I have the zodiac sign of Cancer. That's a lot. It's called. But if I had to have a, I like how, like, what's it called? I love meeting people that are different. The spectrum of identities surprises me. Imagine if you could put bulkhead right there. That would be so sweet. Dude.
An extremely bad taste in my mouth and has me contemplating calling the wedding off. I don't want to marry.
Honestly, like, personal view, like, I don't reveal, like, my middle name, and I do not reveal, like, I'll reveal my state. I just don't do my town. But God. I am, like, 5'5", I think? 5'4", recorded in 2019. First day of senior year. Let's see. Yeah. I have a tape measure on hand. But oh wait, I'm actually, oh crap, I don't. Oh well. Nice. Oh, love my fate. Man, this thing has a kick. I mean,
To a family that would potentially discriminate against my son. I love my fiance very much, but my son will always come first. I told my brother, and he said that I was being the butthole here. That it would just be for one day, and that since my son is an adult, it's unlikely that he would have that much interaction with his step-grandparents in the future anyway.
really?
I still don't feel
I
comfortable
beg
about
to
the entire
differ.
situation, and am really thinking about calling the wedding off. Would I be the butthole if I did this? Am I being unreasonable?
No, I've probably not. I have not. And the reason is because I want to try to get subscribers so I can get money. I want to become a coder, which they can work from home, and they can make up to 150 a year. It's one of the most